Life is an odyssey. It's full of twists and turns. It's full of amazing times. It's full of challenging times. And it's a spiritual pilgrimage, whether we're conscious of it or not. That is what this journey of life is. And I'm currently in Greece. I'm actually at Artemida, the eastern suburb of Athens, right near the airport. So you will hear some planes going overhead. I'm having a couple of nights integration time after having just completed the 7-day Greek Odyssey, Know Thyself journey. An amazing, I don't think I can call it a retreat. I've decided retreats do not work. That name does not work for what I hold. They are odysseys. It was an amazing odyssey with 11 ladies here in Athens and Delphi. I haven't had the opportunity to integrate everything that we encountered on that journey. But I wanted to just share a little taster with you. I was hoping to create a video while I was in Delphi. We were there 4 nights, but it was really full, and my energy was all in holding space for the odyssey that each of the ladies was going through. So I didn't get a chance to do it. Today is my one free day before I head to Malta tomorrow for another retreat. I'm hoping the sound of the waves isn't too loud for you, but use that sacred water energy to move through your being and cleanse to some extent, but also awaken. The waters also awaken, and the waters teach us about flow, surrender, rolling with the waves. There are times the waves come in, there are times they pull out, just like the odyssey of life. So this odyssey that we've just been on, oh my gosh. We had 3 nights in Athens first, and then 4 nights in Delphi. And what a contrast. What a contrast. I've not held this particular odyssey before. I came here last year to do the research for it and then shared it with everyone this year. The Athens part was challenging on so many levels. Many of us are not city people, and so dealing with the external energies of a city and the challenges that brings, such as theft, which we encountered, and some very distorted energies, what could be called the distorted masculine, although not always present, only in male form, but a distorted masculine energy that can come in the city. We dealt with that. We encountered that. It's an odyssey. We navigate it all, and yet in that there was so much sacredness. Each of the women held their sacredness. We went to some amazing places, obviously the Acropolis and the Parthenon. We managed to hold a circle outside the Parthenon with all the people that are there. And we found other beautiful sacred places, a gorgeous little church, or a few little churches actually. And it was so interesting because I was like, where will we hold our circles? But we held a circle in a cafe, and we managed to pull ourselves into a circle and reflect on something we'd just encountered. And it was amazing just to create these little pockets of sacredness in a rather busy, frantic city. That was quite special. And we had some beautiful meals and beautiful, joyful times together. And this is also part of the Odyssey. The communion, the connection, the joy, the enjoying the beautiful food and the great wine and the laughter and little discoveries of amazing little places. So by the time we left Athens and went to Delphi, we were ready to move into the womb. And Delphi has that feeling. And in fact, I'll put a photo up now of the goddess, or perhaps the priestess, that sits above Delphi. This was a beautiful discovery to see her in the rock, in the mountain Parnassus. And this is what Delphi was like. It was like the goddess holding you in her bosom. That's how it felt. It was just like, come to me, and I will hold you. And I think we collectively breathed out when we got to Delphi. It was like, oh, and which set the tone then for our 4 nights there. Oh, just magical. We followed the rose petals and we were led to some amazing people, beautiful shopkeepers who contributed to our sacred journey. Guardians, actually. We encountered some beautiful, we were all women, and we encountered some beautiful sacred masculine energy in male form. And there was something very sacred to that. Whether it was a shopkeeper, there were a couple of beautiful men who took us on a hike up to the Corycian cave. I'll get onto that in a minute. Why, my God, what a place. And we were really blessed in that. And of course, the Temple of Apollo, and being connected to the Pythia, who was the Sibyl before her, and also a much deeper connection to Gaia, or Ge, as she was known before the Temple of Apollo was built, and Gaia was the main goddess that the Sibyl would channel. So if you want to know more about that, I did create a video when I was there last year, so I'll link it below, which goes more into the history. That's not what I want to talk about in this video. What I want to share in this video is this concept of life being an odyssey, and that over our 7 days together, we lived that odyssey. We each went through it in our own way. We each went through the challenges that the land brought up for us, that even being in close connection with others, with other women brought up. There wasn't much of that, but there's always a little trigger. That's why we come together. And then the love and the connection and the joy, and oh my gosh, so much beauty. And this is the thing with an odyssey, is when you look back, the challenges are forgotten and the joy is what is remembered. The beauty that came from the challenges, the beauty that came from the journey itself. And this was an amazing reflection of that on so many fronts. And our final evening, we came together, and as I mentioned before, we went up to the Corycian cave. Now, this was not part of my original itinerary. I'm going to say itinerary in quotes because I don't really have an itinerary. I go with the flow on my journeys, and I read the energy of the group and take us where I feel we need to be, or I cancel things if I feel that we just need space. We have a lot of time for our own journey on my odysseys. But when we went up to the cave, that was not meant to happen. It was a series of events that led us there. And one of which was the Temple of Athena, where I thought we would spend time, was actually closed. And so we had a free day. And a couple of different ladies from different places found out, well, we knew about the cave, but they were led into making this journey easier for us, because we had to transport 12 of us up to a part of the road where you could only go further with a 4-wheel drive, or you had to walk it. So we needed to find that transport last minute, and it all came together. We found the transport, this beautiful company called Delphi Trek, that are fairly new and just starting out. 2 beautiful men, John and Marcus, that run that company, and they were guardians. And they took us up there, and even when we did the hike, one was at the front, one was at the back, just they were being guardians. They honoured our silence that we wanted in the journey up there. And then we got to the cave. Oh my God. There are no words. The cave. This was our final evening of our pilgrimage, our odyssey that we went there. And what an amazing place to come together. If you go to Delphi, you must go to this cave. What was shown to me when I was gathering with some of the ladies earlier in the day was that the energies that the Pythia and the Sibyl channeled further down the mountain where Delphi is, where the Athena-Apollo lines were crossing, or the Michael-Mary, because of all the earth movements, that flow of energy had been redirected, and it flowed. That crossover point of the feminine and masculine energy grid was at that cave now, and you could feel it. And when we arrived in Delphi and we had our first circle together, the word that came through in my channeling was that this was a Stargate, and it was being activated by everyone who went there now, particularly. Well, this cave is the middle point of this Stargate. And while we were in there, there were many galactic, intergalactic beings there with us. It was so powerful, including the Mary, which is the galactic frequency of the Mary, connected with Andromeda. And so I was channeling these energies, these beings, and they were so present for us. It was a phenomenal way to end our time in Delphi. And it took our odyssey from this earthly odyssey into an odyssey of our star selves. It was unexpected. I did not anticipate that that's where the journey would go. And yeah, as I said at the beginning, I'm still integrating. We only left there yesterday. And each went on our own way. And this is the thing at the end of these odysseys. It's not challenging, but we don't want to leave the beautiful space that we've created, the beautiful tribe we've been with, that we've journeyed deeply with. And then to go back into everyday life. That's sometimes where the transition is, or the challenge is of the Odyssey. It can be quite difficult to return to your everyday life, having your frequency completely changed, but everyone around you knows you at the frequency you were at before you left. And it takes a little bit of integration time when you get back. So there will be more integrating around this. I'm about to head to Malta for another retreat tomorrow, and I know that is a continuation of the theme, because we will be celebrating the solstice at one of the ancient sites there, Hagakim, which is aligned to the solstice. And I know that there is going to be more of this galactic frequency coming in. Yeah, I had not anticipated this when I started this European journey. It's very, very powerful, and I'm really grateful you're here coming along on this journey with me. If you've never come across my videos before, I'm Jacqueline Atkins, and I'm currently traveling in Europe for 4 months. I'm holding retreats here, and I'm also doing research for next year's Odysseys. The word retreat is going. It's not a retreat. It's an Odyssey. And I have created many videos. Each place I visit, I aim to create a video for you so you can come along with me on the journey, activating the grid, the rose line within the earth and beyond the earth. Oh, one more thing actually is I have recorded a meditation at Delphi for those of you in the meditation journey. I'll send that out, and if you would like to receive meditations from all these sites I'm visiting, I'll put the link for that below as well. You'll get all the ones I've recorded so far will be sent to you when you join. Thanks for joining me on this Odyssey of life, and I'll see you again very soon, probably from Malta. Rose blessings to you.